And local defense attorney Barry Covert joins us now to discuss this. Barry, let's talk about the legal implications on this announcement today from Governor Hochul for local businesses.
Yeah, it really codifies now what local businesses have been struggling, which is now that we have the CDC for months talking about vaccination, the importance of vaccinations, wearing masks if you're not vaccinated, but it was hard to really enforce it for local businesses. Now we've got the state codifying the requirement that local businesses have plans for vaccinations for workers who are not vaccinated or are vaccinated, and how to handle those that are not vaccinated, and require that they wear masks. But it requires that when there's some type of an outburst of COVID, that there be a plan in place. And it should be very helpful for businesses who now are going to have the support of the state in making certain that there are requirements that are put in place by those employers to make certain that the employees are either handling the vaccinations or have vaccinations, don't have vaccinations, but have plans in place.
But it puts more rules and more mandates on a lot of businesses. For some of the smaller ones that may not have the time or the employees to be able to put together this plan, what does it say to them? How could they be in trouble by the government?
It could be a problem for the smaller businesses that don't have plans in place, that if there are outbreaks, that they don't have the plans to make certain that that doesn't spread wider and could cause some liability for that employer. I think that what's going to be important, though, is that they make sure that they follow whatever blueprint is set up by other employers and maybe fellow business members who know how to set this up and follow that, because yes, it could increase their liability for not following the state's requirements if in fact they didn't put a plan in place.
So does this increase the liability for an employee to possibly sue an employer if there is a COVID outbreak where they work?
It could certainly increase the liability of employers who are being sued by employees. Now, generally, that comes under the workers' compensation laws, and so you're in that arena. But it could certainly increase the liability of employers for their employees, or even customers who are now exposed because the employers knew at some date that there was COVID that was being airborne, passed around in their business, and now customers are suffering the consequences of that. So this could lead to some increased liability for employers.
Is this something that businesses could challenge if they wanted to get together and do it as a group?
Yeah, you would certainly think that businesses are going to challenge this, as they have with every COVID regulation, to determine whether it's a reasonable restriction, whether it's reasonable to expect that they put plans in place of this nature to make certain that they know what to do if there is an outbreak. But you can certainly see the possibility of employers getting together and hiring some law firms to challenge the requirement to see whether it's a constitutionally vested, whether the state's allowed to require employers to do this.
Local defense attorney Barry Covert on a Labor Day. Barry, thanks for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.